What's up guys, and welcome back to Wealth Gambit. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Robinhood's potential soon-to-be IPO. They have not yet officially released their S1 filing, but that should be dropping soon and we'll get more details and we'll be sure to cover that video here on this channel. So like and subscribe for more future content. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Robinhood was actually founded in 2013 by two people, Vlad Tenev and Baiju Bhatt, who initially met at Stanford when they were in college, where I believe Vlad studied mathematics and physics and Baiju studied physics. So they do have that great science physics background that we love in a CEO. Shouts out Elon Musk, you know how that went. So it's good to see that they're thinking from first principles here when making decisions at the company. So that, in my opinion, is a good sign. Also, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. That out of the way. So an interesting thing about Robinhood is, unlike most companies, when it was founded, the co-founders Vlad and Baiju actually were also sharing the CEO position. So basically Vlad and Baiju were both the CEO of the company up until fairly recently. I want to say it was the last 1 to 2, maybe 3 years where Baiju actually stepped down, probably because they knew that they were going to IPO. And basically when you have two CEOs, it's kind of not that good because people want to know that there's one person leading a ship. In case the CEOs get in an argument, you don't want all that drama with two CEOs fighting it out. So it's just better to have one CEO, and good to see here with Robinhood that Baiju stepped down. So now let's go into how Robinhood actually makes money, because the most important part of actually purchasing a business is making sure that that business is actually making money. So let's discuss how Robinhood actually makes money, how they make that bread or that guap. Basically, Robinhood makes money in 5 different ways. The first way that Robinhood makes money is through Robinhood Gold. If you didn't know, they have a subscription service. You pay $5 a month, gives you access to margin and level 2 market data. Number 2 is payment for order flow. This is one of the more controversial ways that Robinhood makes money, if not the most controversial way, because there's that whole debate of whether or not someone is paying Robinhood for the right to process your orders. Are you really getting the best price? So that's something that we'll get a lot more information on when the S1 comes out. But for now, just know they make money. Basically, you enter an order, someone else fulfills your order, and then essentially gives them some money back for the right to fulfill your order. The next one is interesting too, is the interchange on debit card transactions. Basically, interchange is the fee that merchants are charged when you use your debit card in their store. The next way that Robinhood makes money is interest on margin. If you have Robinhood Gold, which is the $5 a month subscription, they enable you to borrow out margin, which is proportionate to your account. The more money you have in your Robinhood account, the more margin you can borrow, right? When you borrow this money, you pay interest on that money. And that is one of the ways that Robinhood also makes money, is from the interest on that margin. The next way is interest on cash. So whenever Robinhood users have cash sitting in their account uninvested, Robinhood actually makes money on that unused money. On top of paying you interest for that unused money, they also make money from that unused money. The last and final way that Robinhood makes money, they like and subscribe to Wealth Gambit for more weekly content. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button down below. But anyways, guys, seriously, there's no 6th way, but those are the 5 ways that Robinhood makes money. You like to see that a company has diversified sources of income. So that way we know that if Robinhood were to lose any of these sources of income, you never know. Payment for order flow, it's pretty controversial. You never know. But if they would still have other ways to make money. Now that we know all the ways that Robinhood makes money, let's look into the valuation. I found an article on Forbes that said, and I quote, "The company was reportedly valued at $12 billion in September 2020, with the figure rising to about $20 billion by the end of the year, with valuation then doubling to $40 billion in February 2021. So as you can see, in the last couple years, Robinhood has went off. You might have noticed an increased surge of your friends using Robinhood, which I surely have. If you look at Google Trends, the amount of search volume for Robinhood has been increasing over the past 2-3 years. So you'll see that as well. Now, guys, for the $1 million question, Robinhood with a valuation at $40 billion, according to Forbes, is that a fair valuation? So let's look at the Robinhood users and let's just track the growth. In 2015, Robinhood had about 500,000 users, and in 2016, they hit that sweet, buttery sweet $1 million mark. 2017, 2 million, and then 2018, a ×3, 6 million users. Fast forward to last year, 2020, and they had 13 million users. From 500,000 in 2015 to 13 million in 2020. Robinhood is quite the beast, actually. Like, that is a rapid rate of growth, and they don't really seem to be slowing down that much. If anything, we'll see the future numbers, but they could really still have a lot longer to keep growing. Seriously, Robinhood has been on a roll. You know, they've had a lot of bad press lately, but I mean, there is that quote too, that any press is good press. And you know, the public sentiment, although not super good for Robinhood at this time, it's much better than that whole at the moment of the GameStop fiasco. Next, guys, one of the most important parts of the business is revenue. Although we don't have all the revenue for Robinhood, again, because they're not a publicly traded company, so we don't have access to all that information, I was able to pull up a chart here from a cool website. If you guys want to check it out, it's called businessofapps.com. And here they have reports of Robinhood's revenue strictly for the payment for order flow portion of their business. So this is just the revenue from payment for order flow, which according to Business of Apps is approximately 40 to 55% of all Robinhood's revenue. 40 to 55% of all their revenue is payment for order flow. Okay, so in 2015, they pulled in 2.9 million, which was right around the time that they had about 500,000 users. In 2016, when they hit the 1 million user mark, they pulled in 9.3 million. Fast forward to 2018, and they hit 69 million. And then in 2020, they hit $673 million with 13 million users. But according to them, this is 40 to 55% of Robinhood's revenue. Let's meet in the middle and assume that this is 50%. So if Robinhood, 50% of their income is 673 million, and we double that, we're right around the 1.3-ish billion mark. And so if you take a PE, right, of let's say average PE 15 to 20, let's say 20, for 1.3 billion, that's 22, 23-ish billion. Again, this is just back of the napkin math. I didn't do this well. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a 20 billion market cap. Obviously, Robinhood's estimated to be around 40 billion. So, but then again, growth companies do tend to trade at higher PEs because of the massive growth. For reference here, let me pull up. So Jack Dorsey's Square trades at a PE ratio of 281.09. And let's reference some of Robinhood's competitors. Charles Schwab, they're trading at a current PE ratio, and this is a more direct competition, of 31.58. Okay, now you can start to see, okay, if they're pulling in around 1.3 billion with a similar PE ratio to Charles Schwab, which is again one of their direct competitors, you could see Robinhood at that around 30 to 40 billion dollar market cap for sure. That does not mean that when they IPO officially that will be the market cap that they list for, but you can start to see it. But yeah, guys, one of the things that is really propelling this hype for Robinhood is, of course, their rapid growth. But something to take into consideration is that although Robinhood has definitely more new users to their platform than, I want to say, most, if not all, the competition, the average account size per user is on average a lot smaller. As a result, if we look at these numbers again, referencing businessofapps.com, according to them, Robinhood has $20 billion in assets under management. So basically $20 billion of money on their platform. E-Trade, one of their competition, one of the people in this online trading space, has 600 billion. So if you take Robinhood's 20 billion to E-Trade's 600 billion, you start to see where, okay, although they do have a lot of accounts, the average account size per account is significantly different. If you go to TD Ameritrade, it has an average in assets under management around $1.3 trillion, which is insane. And then Charles Schwab has $3.8 trillion, which that's just insane to me. So although Robinhood has a lot more new users signing to its account, those users are on average a lot younger, and with being young comes a lot less money. But one of the things that you can take into consideration is that as people get older, typically they have more money and higher net worths, right? So as time passes, you could definitely see the size or the average size of Robinhood's accounts increasing significantly. Whereas these TD Ameritrades, Charles Schwab's, E-Trade, like they don't have that many young users. So as time progresses and the average user on these platforms is much older, they could eventually start to die off. So you could really see a potential switch from account size and users, amount of users switch towards Robinhood's favor in the future, assuming they don't royally screw up. And guess what? They did, in a way, royally screw up with the whole GameStop debacle. And basically, if you don't know what happened, there was this whole, I guess you could say, a tug of war. Instead of tugging, it was pushing. And it was basically the people versus the Wall Street Street suits, if you will. And a key place where this battle was taking place was on GameStop stocks, specifically Robinhood, which was one of the most popular platforms for people to buy GameStop stock. Basically, Robinhood ended up, it looked like, siding with Wall Street in the suits. They disabled the buy button on GameStop and only enabled the sell button, which added to basically a lot more selling pressure than buying pressure, and the stock price getting down, giving the suits on Wall Street enough time to adjust. I mean, even cover their positions and sell, or do whatever they needed to do, talk to their billionaire buddies and, you know, all that jazz. And basically, Robinhood has this image of taking from the rich to give to the poor. And I think people were so infuriated by this because that move that Robinhood did blatantly seemed like them siding with the rich to take from the poor, which goes against, again, one of their mission statements of democratizing finance. It kind of just seemed like they sided with the elites right there. Although, I mean, they won't say that. There's no like hardcore proof that that's real, but that's what definitely it seemed like, and at least that's the public perception of that. So that did mess up their public image. And again, you know, had Robinhood been squeaky clean and had no hiccups like that, in my opinion, I personally would buy this stock because I like the stock. But that mess up really did make me question, hey, should I be sticking with this platform? Although, you know, it is a really, really good platform and stuff like that. And, you know, there is quite a few people who actually left Robinhood because of that. And it will take a while for Robinhood to clean up their image, if they can even clean up their image. And also, guys, there is an entire forum of people on Reddit, subforum Wall Street Bets, and those guys are pissed. I would not be surprised if when Robinhood IPOs, if there is some people on that forum that decide to short the stock aggressively. I would really not be surprised if, you know, the public was so mad at Robinhood that they started shorting the stock. So that is something to be aware of. Again, if you're a long-term investor, that could actually be a good thing, because if they short the stock, selling pressure, basically when you short a stock, you're adding selling pressure because you're borrowing shares and then you're selling the shares immediately and all that jazz, which could artificially push the stock price down. So as a long-term investor, if you are actually bullish on the stock based on some of the information we went over, this could actually really be good for you. So that is something to keep in mind. But again, if you're short-term, keep in mind that Reddit forum last time I checked was around like 8 million followers on that Reddit forum, and there could be a lot more now. And if you get that many people shorting a stock, which could happen, again, this is just speculation, but it could happen, be prepared for a rough ride. So take that into consideration. If you're trying to swing trade it, you might, you know, end up eating it a little bit. Anyways, guys, so that basically concludes all the information we have right now on Robinhood. If you want more information, definitely check out one of the key websites I used to pull some of this information up, which was Business of Apps, linked in the description below. And also, shameless plug, if you do want to create a Robinhood account, there's also a link in this description which helps the channel out a lot. That will give you one free stock. Don't make the mistake I did. I downloaded it directly from the App Store when I first downloaded Robinhood, and I ended up not getting any free stocks. So if you do, or if you are a new user and you want to sign up for Robinhood, click on the link in the description, get your free stock. And also, yeah, let us know if you're gonna buy Robinhood stock, if any of this information has changed your opinion on the stock, and yeah, will you even be shorting Robinhood stock? Definitely let us know in the comments below. I want to see if you are gonna do that. Definitely let us know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that concludes this video. See you in the next one. Peace.